What's up everybody? Welcome back to another video, and in this week's video we're going to be doing another live composition type of video. The reception to last week's video on Nucleus was really well received, so I really thank you and appreciate you watching that. So today I wanted to go into a Heavyocity library called Ascend. Ascend is basically unlike any piano library I've ever tried before actually. And the reason is because if you know Heavyocity, Heavyocity does a lot of sound design products. All of their, or most of their libraries have capabilities for designing your own sound and creating custom effects from the source material. So it's very impressive that now they came out with a piano library that is very customizable. So I really wanted to get my hands on this, and they were kind enough to send me a copy to do a review or play around with a little bit. So I wanted to kind of go ahead and do a little writing for you guys here. So I have my other piano libraries here: Cine Piano, the Walker, and the Cinematic Studio Piano, Emotional Piano, and so on. But this one, like I said, is unique in the fact that not only do you get the source material, the bare recorded samples, which is the core concert D, but you also get 4 other folders, I guess you can call them, and these are different effects. So my favorite folder is Ascended, and you see that there's a bunch of effects down here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a little bed, and I think the type of piece I'm going to go for today, it's going to remain quite simple because we're going to just use this library. So we'll go with a rhythmic bed first, and then we'll see what else, like what kind of melody we can put on top with another patch. So what I've chosen here, actually, have I chosen? Let's take a look. I'm going to go into rhythmic melodic because that's pretty effective for even just, melodies. But again, I'm going to try to keep it, not too busy for the first patch. So let's just try Ascension Dancer and see what we get here. So all I'm doing is I'm playing a C major chord and I'm just holding it. The engine itself is doing this rhythm. Maybe I'll start a little bit lower. Okay, let's do this. So we're at 120, 3, 4. And I think this is tempo synced, so we're good to go here. 2, 3, 4. Okay, and I'm going to leave that hanging just for now because I'm thinking for the very last chord, I want to have this just solid chord, okay? Now, I'm just going to tweak this a little bit because basically when I played the new notes, they started coming in, with the arpeggiator, but they were a little bit late sometimes, so they actually fell behind the beat. So I'm going to go through and do a little bit of editing here. So I'm going to put this back to the beat. Here, actually, let's see if we can move this because it feels like it's coming in a bit late. There we go. 2, 3, 4. You know what? I kind of feel like I want an intro, so let me actually do this. I'll give it some space, right? And then I'll extend this over there. Let's see how this goes. Oops. 2. This will be this bar 2, bar 3, 4. Now bar 5 and 6 will be the start of the theme. Go up to the 4 chord, Now 5 chord, all the while having this pedal. Actually, maybe I can go up to the D here, so I get even a more ascending sound with the C on the bottom. Let me put that D in there as well. So I kind of like the effect this is giving off, actually, you know? 3, 4, even higher. And I'm now while I'm hearing this, I'm imagining kind of an ethereal mood, so I might add a pad on top. So I might, you know, go into there and add another patch just for the pad. So this is coming in a little bit early, so let's move that right to the beat, see how that goes. So let me move this C to the beat there. Because this is a 5/7 chord, a G7, so I want to make sure that C doesn't really interfere. Because all this time I had the C pedal going on, you know? So I had this basis, and then when I'm leaving, when I'm building the tension, I want to dedicate myself to this 5/7 before coming back to the 1 again. Oops. Now I'm going for the secondary dominant here because this next chord is going to be an F major chord, which is the 4, right? So if I do this if I do this 1 chord, the C major, I can precede the F major chord with this C dominant 7. So sliding in this B flat will give me that secondary dominant. So I just want to make, you know, this as seamless as possible. Nice. That major 7th definitely helps with that E natural. F minor 6, or I guess you could call it a D half diminished. And then I'll just land on that last one. Cool. Okay, so that's the first patch completed, or first instrument, I should say. Okay, so I called that one rhythm. Let's see what else we got here. So this, and just listen to that tail for a second. Let me do this again. You hear how that just like envelops you. Let's go with this actually. So we have this intro, 4-bar intro. Okay, I'm not totally happy with that melody. I kind of liked how it started, and then I kind of forgot the chord progression afterwards, so I kind of improvised there, but... maybe there. I'll continue the stepwise down motion, so I'll go from E down to C. Now we got an F major chord. 2, 3, 4. Personally, I think the most effective melodies come from a few things. Simplicity. Now, simplicity is not a bad thing, by the way, you know? Simple and effective is what will get the listener very, I don't want to say emotionally invested, but at least there'll be an earworm in their head. Like they'll remember what you're, you know, putting down. Whereas if it's overly complicated, then there's less of a chance of them staying engaged. So you'll notice that here so far, I've kind of, I kind of followed a direction. I was going down by steps, I went up a step, and now I went down another step, and then I skipped. I did a skip. So I did a major third here going from C to E. So now there's a little bit more interest. Instead of just doing steps, now I increase the distance just a little bit, right? This is over the 4 chord. Nice. Now we can, go a little further up because this is further along. Let's see. So start on this A. Maybe I'll go a little higher there. Now you'll notice I'm staying completely diatonic so far. Like I'm not, I think that's what I'll do for this, by the way. Yeah, that's not bad. Let's see what happens if I put this E back there. So now I went to this peak, I went higher, right? Now I kind of settled down into this register. I think I'll go even lower, and then maybe at the very end I'll go back up just a little bit. Let's see how that goes. Let's see, because here is, this is like an A minor chord, well, the F major 7. So I have this like G sus. Oh, I know. Maybe I'll instead of holding that C for that long, I'll kind of go down to the B first, go down to the leading note, then have the 6th interval going up to the G and then settling down on the E. So I still get to land on a stable note, the E there. Right. Now a little break. Just quantize that a little bit here. Yeah, maybe I'm thinking here, because now this is developing even more. This whole thing, like I said, was centered around C major, But here, now we're going to the 4 chord. It's a little bit more expressive. To me, it feels a little more ethereal. Like I'm stepping away from home and I'm opening up the world in front of me, So what I want to do is add in a couple notes on the bottom here to fill in the lower register to give that expansive feel. Ah, the C's not good. It's a little too heavy. Let's try F. And I think I played it too strong. Nice. That's pretty good. Maybe let's do a C here. See, like I like I talked about in the last video, I like doing things visually as well. So while I played this A, C, and then I have this double F, right? I have this octave. I'm lacking a bit of frequency in the middle range. So I decided to add in middle C just to fill the rest of it in here. I should keep on having that there. Add some interest there. Go up to the C and then down. Nice. Now I can start the settling process. Coming back in. Right. And then just end with a nice C major chord to finish. Alright, so that's already a pretty good soundscape just with 2 patches. Let's see if I can add something else on the very top here. I feel like I want some kind of floating pad. So in Ascended, we have delicate soft sustains, but what does that sound like? So here, I'm just going to put melody. Let's see what this 3rd patch gives us. Yeah, so the louder I play it, the louder the pad or the tail is going to be as well. I want to see if I can actually turn down this attack here. Wait, maybe I have to turn that on. There we go. Let's see if I turn this like this. That's not really going to do anything. Let's see. Settings. Okay. Source. Oh, that's kind of cool. Maybe instead of let's do room. Let's try room. There we go. Okay, because what I wanted to do was take away kind of the piano attack, because this is more of a pad function. I already have like 2 patches that are doing the piano stuff. So what this does is leave me with only the pad sound and take away the, or at least for the upper stuff. There it is. A little less of that instant piano sound and gives me more of the pad. So maybe I'll do it in the second half of the piece. Let's see what we got so far. Now maybe I start the pad. Okay, let's start recording. And actually there was an E here I didn't really like. That E there. That's a little bit obnoxious. Let's try that and I'll play a little softer. Okay, so let's do this. 2, 3, okay, here we go, from the beginning. So I'll let this first half of the verse, or the phrase, finish first. Because this pad at the very beginning is just hinting at what's coming up. Now here we go. See, this ending part, I remember the melody pretty well. Alright, first of all, let's quantize this thing, because that was not very in time. Okay. This one, we'll quantize there. Get the P pad going. So now this is, by the way, I was inspired by Bach for this. Let's see, let's try. Let's do that. Instead of copying the melody and playing A to A flat, why not just do the root of the chord, which is F? So the F shimmers along while the melody can continue playing that melody on the third. And now, let's go up to the G. That one's fine. I like that one meaning there. Maybe the third there. Maybe now I'm doing kind of a gliss in the piano. I'm having this roll actually, so I want this pad piano to land on the last note of the gliss. Maybe a little earlier. A little farther. Sure, that's fine. Cool. All right, let's have a listen one more time and see what else we might want to add to this. So we got this nice basis with the rhythmic piano, and now here's the melody. Ah, that melody's a bit late. Now let's see here. Let's do this. I'm gonna switch around the root. Switch around the root and the third actually, because before I had the A below and I had the F on top, but I actually kind of like, I'm thinking I like this the other way around. Let's give this a shot. One, two, three, four. 2, 3. Is that melody a little bit early? Yeah. There it is. This one, let's go down to C, because this is the end of the phrase, so it makes sense for it to settle just a little bit. There we go. Here we go. Now for the development. 2, 3. Oops. Why did I pause it? I shouldn't touch anything. And, you know, I was considering adding another bass, maybe like a sub bass underneath this, but the rhythmic patch is actually giving me enough of that already. All right, cool. So that's like 3 uses of this library already. I could probably add more if I wanted to, but sometimes simplicity is the best way to go. You can see there's so many different options here, and if you watch the Heavyocity walkthrough videos, you know, they go through pretty well all of these different ones. But for this purpose, again, like if you've watched my videos for a while, you know that like I prefer to work in more of the acoustic environment, and sound design is awesome, but I'm less of like a tweaker and a, you know, that kind of thing. I prefer to use the sounds provided right out of the box and just get to work. So I decided to go with 3 patches here today just to show you what's possible with this library and the different variations and textures it does come with. So hopefully that you learned a little bit about the library and you enjoyed this little chord progression. The melody wasn't my favorite, but you know, it's something. But the real standout feature of this library is the sound design capability and the cinematic possibilities that you know, you can play around with. You know, from the source sounds. So very impressive. Heavyocity did it again, and I'm very impressed with the library. So yeah, I mean, this saves you a lot of time potentially if you're working on a cue that needs piano effects, right? You got all this mix stuff and different effects that they actually did live in the studio to record these sounds for you, and you know, you can definitely check these all out on their walkthroughs. So hopefully that makes sense. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to download the orchestral PDF down below for free, and I will see you in the next video. It's almost Christmas time, so I have something really special for you coming up. But next week, we're going to talk about this library here, Elysian. It's going to be awesome, and we'll do another live composition then. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week. Have a good day, guys. Bye-bye.